In today's video, I am going to be breaking down winning basketball plays for youth basketball teams. These are plays that can be ran at almost any age group that will almost guarantee you wins, as long as you've got guys who can pretty well make shots. So let's get down and let's check these out. Okay, so in this first play, we're going to start in a 5-out offense. So if you want the complete guide to the 5-out offense, make sure to go check out the link that is down in the description below. First, we're going to start with player 2 and player 3 setting down screens on 4 and 5. The idea here is so that when they set those screens, depending on what the defender is doing. So for example, we have a defender. If player 4's defender goes over top of that screen, then player 4 needs to cut towards the basket. If instead player 4's man goes underneath that screen, that is when player 4 needs to go and pop up towards his side's 45 or wing. Now, for example, if both of these players pop up, I call this play pin down because it's pin down screens. Let's say they both go towards that 45. Player 1 can pass either towards the right or left side. It doesn't necessarily matter. If he passes to that right side, both of these players are going to roll towards the basket, and after they roll towards the basket, player 4 may be able to hit one of them with a pass. That is an option, especially if there is a switch, and we're hoping for a switch, then we're going to have a faster player here. You could also set this up where you have the bigs that are setting the down screens. The idea here is if you were to get a switch on one of these players, so for example, let's say player 3 switched, the defender I mean, then when player 5 rolls, this is going to be potentially a massive mismatch, and we can pass that ball into player 5 for the obvious mismatch. Let's say, for example, there's no options open. We're still in 5-out, and now we can go for a dribble handoff on one of those sides. This would be a continuation to the exact same play. After this roll and player 2 comes off of that screen off of that dribble handoff, we may have player 1 open for that pass. If not, we can go into our 5-out. He would then clear out, and then we can continue on with another 5-out play, or we can go in for another dribble handoff on this side, and we can continue on with the dribble handoffs and the weave motion. The reason why I like 5-out with younger players is because now you can do a set play where you're not doing a motion doing the same thing over and over again. You're doing one set play, and then it can basically move straight into a motion offense where you can just go through a cycle of the same motion, like for example the weave I just showed you, and then continue that over and over until you find an open angle for a pass, a layup, whatever. Another fantastic play that you can run is what I call SNR with my teams, but this is a fantastic option outside of this play. So pretty much every team runs a horns SNR. After you run that horns SNR, obviously his defender is right here. Let's say player 3 dribbles out towards this side. Well, player 5 is going to roll and player 4 is going to pop for the 3. Now that gives player 3 multiple different options. He can pass to player 5 rolling. He can pass to player 4 who's out on the 3-point line. We can also have player 2 sprinting now towards player 3. Obviously player 3 could score himself. That's also an option. But with player 5 rolling, that means that he needs to clear out to the opposite side if he's not open. Player 1 lifts. Now this is going to be a dribble handoff where player 3 now rolls off of that screen. Now there's a couple of different options. He can fill out, you can go into another 5-out motion, or you can do what I like to do, which is to start with a set, finish with a set, and then go to a motion style offense. So for example, we just had that dribble handoff here, and we just had that roll that happened. If we can now clear player 3 out, player 1 lifts, player 5 lifts, and then now we can set a screen and roll, but he's going to loop to the other side. So now player 2 comes off of this screen. He has the whole side to the basket for himself, and player 4 is going to roll towards the high post. The idea here is now player 2 can ISO his man and get to the basket. Maybe they switched and now he has a power forward guarding a shooting guard, which is a mismatch. Or when he gets here, he can collapse the defense, potentially pass the ball out to one of these players so that they can get the open 3 or maybe the extra pass for an open 3. After this play, let's say he kicks the ball out. Player 4 fills out, player 2 fills out, and maybe now we can go into a pass and cut offense, which is a very simple 5-out motion. Now this next one starts in 5-out. It's a nice set as well, but we're going to start with a pin down on this side, and we're going to go into an Iverson style cut across the free throw line. But when this happens, I want a secondary screen by player 5. When player 2 comes off of this double screen or staggered screen, now our number one option is going to be player 2. After this screen, player 5 is not going to roll. He's going to show himself in the high post because player 4, even though he set this screen, he's going to delay his roll. He's going to stand there for a second because the other option is to pass to player 5. If player 5 gets it, that's when player 4 rolls to the basket. He could be open for a high to low post pass. And if nobody is open, let's say player 5 doesn't get the ball, player 4 clears, player 5 sets the screen here, and then we can go a little bit of screen and roll ISO type action. Now, I personally really like the Horns basketball offense. You can get the playbook down below, but I also really like 5-out. I run 5-out with my teams, and I absolutely love it. That can be found down in the description too. I hope that these plays help your team win more games. If they do, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.